Hey guys, welcome back to DASKA Discusses. Today, well, it's a bit late, but I'm going to be talking about my top 5 movies of 2018. Number 5, Halloween. Remake, reboot, sequel, remake, reboot, whatever, no. 40 years after the original Halloween in 1978, Jamie Lee Curtis returns, and obviously Michael Myers returns, the Shape, obviously, to Haddonfield. And well, I must say this was a big, I'm a huge Halloween, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger fan, but I was a bit iffy about this coming out last year. I'm like, how are they going to do this, you know, with all the H2O. I remember I was in high school when they came out and everyone kind of laughed at it, and then Resurrection was a total joke. This is ignoring everything and goes from the original Halloween to 40 years later, and I'll tell you what, I was entertained, and it was in my top 5 for 2018. Had a good storyline. Jamie Lee Curtis played her role really well, and it was good to see the Shape back in action, menacing as always. More violent than I thought they'd go for, and I must say the soundtrack, again by John Carpenter coming in and doing that cameo for the soundtrack, you can definitely tell. Listening to that Halloween theme start off in the beginning of the film and then the other versions of it throughout the film was fantastic. I thought the second half of the film, you could say it was kind of like a soft reboot of the original, kind of like what Rob Zombie did. A bit different, obviously it's Halloween night, he's got to go around killing people as well, but like I said, or like I said, I must say, Halloween, number 5 in my top 5 films of 2018. Number 4, Black Panther. Look, I'm not a Marvel fan myself, and a lot of my friends and students and family know that, yes. I like some Marvel films, right? But I must say, when I sat down and watched Black Panther, even when the trailer came out a while before it got released, obviously, I said to my friends, I go, this is going to be huge. And it was actually a great film. Chadwick Boseman playing Black Panther and Michael B. Jordan playing Eric Killmonger was a really good role for it too, you know, and look, Creed 2 was actually awesome as well. I thought they really did well. Like I said, I am not the biggest Marvel fan, but sitting down to watch this, I thought it was fantastic. The storyline really did well. The opening scene I thought was fantastic as well. Starting off in, where was it, Chicago, New York, I can't remember which one it was, but I tell you what, the whole, and Andy Serkis played a small role, but it was actually well done. I found that, I think the reason why with Marvel films, I'm not going to get into it now, but I think the oversaturation of digital effects kind of put me off it over the years, but this had the right amount, and being on Wakanda and the waterfall fight scene was one of my favourite scenes, I think, and the flashbacks to his father, the visions that he has, I thought it really worked well. So Black Panther, number 4 on my list for 2018. Number 3, Steven Spielberg directs Ready Player One. Now, I had a lot of people saying to me, oh, DASKA, have you seen Ready Player One yet? And I must say I missed the boat when it came out. I wanted to go watch it at the movies and I knew it was a Spielberg film. I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, more digital CG. It looks really, really hardcore. Now, I love sci-fi as well. It looks a bit too much for me, I thought. Now, after a few months after, I finally sat down, you know, after, like I said, students, family telling me to watch it, and I must say, very, very impressed with it. I really liked it. It was a mixture of, I guess you could say, The Matrix, kind of in that realm of The Matrix, you know, with the whole VR kind of headset thing, but enough of that. I put it this way, if you haven't seen it and you're a fan of pop culture in general, but more so video games, films, specifically Spielberg films, but even other films as well, there are so many references and Easter eggs, as the film's all about as well, in this film that basically I was like a kid in a candy store. It was quite amazing. My favourite part of the film definitely got to be when they enter into the Shining film. Stanley Kubrick's one of my all-time favourite directors, and The Shining is one of my favourite films that I used to teach as well to my students. But that whole sequence there, worth the price of admission just for that. But the whole film itself, from beginning to end, the storyline works really well. Spielberg did a really good job. Ready Player One, definitely number 3 on my list. Number 2, we are the champions, my friends. Yes, yes, yes. Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, it did just win the Golden Globes, and Rami Malek did a fantastic job portraying Freddie Mercury. A lot of friends of mine saying, oh, well, you know, now it's amazing how everyone's a Queen fan. Well, I think that's the point of biopic films sometimes. Yes, you know, I grew up in a household where we listened to all different types of music, and Queen was part of my parents' record collection, okay? Now, obviously the film comes out, there's going to be a lot of people that they're not going to jump on a bandwagon. I think it's more is that this film brought out, I think maybe even made newer fans for the genre. Now, the film itself, I thought was really good. It was entertaining. Rami Malek does an exceptional job playing Freddie Mercury. It would have been, look, all I'm saying is this, it would have been very interesting to see what Sacha Baron Cohen did with the role. Apparently he wanted to take it a bit more into darker places, and the film does touch on that a little bit. I think for a biopic of Queen and Freddie Mercury, it had the right tools to do it. It is number 2 on my list for 2018. It's entertaining, it's musical, obviously. Rami Malek's performance brought it up to here for me. I think the opening act, maybe the first 30 minutes, for me kind of dragged a little bit and it was a bit cliche. There was a few cliches in there. Some of the things in there were inaccurate. So if you want facts and how everything went, I guess you could go and watch a documentary. There's a really good one called Mercury Rising as well. But Bohemian Rhapsody, number 2 on my list. My number 1 pick, in the realm of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, I'm putting number 1 for 2018, Hereditary. Now, yes, you may say, oh, well, you're a horror fan, that's why you put it there. No. It's not necessarily a horror film, Hereditary. Yes, it is quite, look, it's more of a supernatural drama horror. It's a slow burn film. It's in the realm of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, with all the slow zoom-ins, the panning, the establishing shots. Just that whole feeling of dread while watching this film. Now, I went to the cinemas to watch this by myself because I guess with friends, everyone was like, well, I don't want to watch this, it doesn't make, they watch the trailer, and I'm like, it just looks like another cliche film. I'm a big fan of this film, and Toni Collette plays a great role. Now, the film itself, I don't want to give anything away, but if you haven't seen it, it's just about basically a family. They lose their grandma, there's a funeral, and we find out some more information about the grandmother and this family, and then something else tragically happens, not going to get into it, and then the film kind of picks up. Now, a lot of people found this boring, and when they went to the cinemas, people were laughing during the quiet scenes. I think that's a big problem as well. In film, and what I teach my students about reception context, which means that how you watch a film makes a huge difference. How, meaning like, obviously you want to watch The Dark Knight at IMAX because 9 of the films were filmed in IMAX. Hereditary, A Quiet Place, another film, very similar, where if you've got people talking, crunching on popcorn, laughing during bits that aren't meant to be funny, it's going to basically wreck your cinema experience. Hereditary is number 1 for me for 2018. Now, I hope Toni Collette gets at least a nomination for her role, because she was fantastic. Now, in terms of why, a film that finally came out, which was not full of jump scares, had an amazing soundtrack, eerie soundtrack, great acting, great drama in the film, great dialogue, great set design as well, and just that little sprinkle of like twists, okay? Now, a lot of people didn't like the ending. A lot of people were like, well, what the hell ending was that? Put it this way, if you're used to jump scare films, if you're used to if you're used to jump scare films, gore, like Halloween, you could say, this is completely different. It's not in your realm. If you want something that's literally, I think, going to scare you and make you think twice about walking through your house late at night, but not in terms of like demons, more so just the whole creepiness factor and the whole factor of that a family just crumbling apart after certain events happen. Hereditary, number 1 for 2018. Now guys, as always, if you liked what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button or like or comment or whatever you want to do, guys. That'd be great for your support. If you don't agree with my top 5, then please post something in the comments below. Let me know. I want to know what you thought were your top 5, or if you want to rearrange my order, that's fine. Very interesting to see other people's opinions. Once again, this has been DASKA Discusses. I'll see you guys next time. Boom!